Hello. Thanks for participating in our session, Book Launch, Digital Publishing with the Cohort Model at Ohio State. My name is Ashley Miller. I'm the Program Manager for Affordability and Access in the Office of Distance Education and E-Learning at Ohio State University.
And I'm Mike Shiflett. I work with Ashley on the Affordability and Access team, where my primary role is managing our book launch project.
And I'm Colleen Clark, a participant in the Winter 2015 book launch. My team worked with Ashley and Mike to create a supplementary textbook for the course Intro to Environmental Science.
Book Launch was created as a solution to a problem we were having, which was, how do we help our faculty create digital books, lab manuals, and other classroom resources by teaching them how to do it rather than just taking on all of the production work ourselves? By solving this problem, our small staff could help create more finished books, and we could create experts who could pass that experience on to their colleagues and make even more in the future. In this presentation, we'll tell you about the Book Launch program, why we do it, how we move participants through the process, and we'll even talk specifics about how one of these projects went from start to finish. Something we're all really concerned about is the high cost of classroom materials, and our faculty are excited to learn that they can replace high-cost textbooks with free or low-cost digital alternatives that they've authored themselves. Often they have years of lecture notes and other materials that they've compiled. And when they learn that they can spend a few months with us and they can use tools, primarily iBooks Author, to put an entire book together out of those things, they're pretty excited to get started. To date, 16 book launch projects over 3 rounds have been used by over 4,000 students at Ohio State. Book prices range from free to just under $30, and each represents a savings of anywhere from $25 to $125 per book, which means our students have saved hundreds of thousands of dollars over the cost of their previous conventional textbooks during this time. Let's go a little deeper into the question of why. First, the cost issue, which we asked students about.
I think they're too high, honestly. For some classes, like chemistry, was just like insanely high just for one class.
They're really annoying. They're super expensive, and I feel that going to a school of these standards that we're already paying so much for classes, that to pay so much for textbooks, it's a really large hassle.
I think they're ridiculously high often, especially for biological sciences and other sorts of sciences like that. I've always appreciated when they're not that bad, especially when professors maybe don't even assign textbooks, because it can be such a huge waste of money, it feels like.
And then it was a matter of logistics. Our department is just 2 people, and in the past it would take us about 5 to 6 months to work with one author to take their manuscript and transform that content to take advantage of this interactive platform. And then we would take that content and do the production work ourselves. So in order to complete more projects, we had to find a way to transfer our knowledge and to work on more than one project at once. These 2 basic needs led us to Book Launch, a 5-month cohort model program where our roles shift into that of project manager, trainer, and tech support. In these cohorts, we bring our authors through the process of creating digital books. Specifically, we focus on interactive iBooks as our primary deliverable. And we also help them make additional formats like EPUB or PDF files. And our curriculum looks something like understanding copyright and providing resources to help, working with templates, organizing your content, transforming your content, identifying milestones that help you break down the work into small, achievable goals. And our authors do the rest of the work.
And here are some examples of that work. Our most popular book is the Theater 2100 textbook, The Art of the Now, used each semester in that department's large enrollment course. Latino Stories Across Ohio was written by Elena Fowlis of the Spanish and Portuguese department. Elena joined Book Launch with a strong digital storytelling background and was excited to take advantage of the opportunities to add interactivity to her work. Spark by Ed Hill and Anita Gonzalez is one of our non-textbook offerings. This book, aimed at out-of-school literacy instructors, features some of the best designed and most complex interactive widgets to come out of our program. Microbiology 4000 is a $2 lab manual used to replace introductory students' $40 paper manuals. How do we guide authors through the process of creating these books? We decided that grouping the authors into cohorts and working through the process collectively would be the most efficient means of getting each participant from manuscript to fully interactive book. And here's what that looks like. 2 5-month cohorts annually. We use the other 2 months of the year to publish the finished titles and prepare for the next cohort. Kickoff and wrap meetings, where participants are initially introduced to each other and talk about their project goals, prior experience with digital course material, and get introduced to our process. 3 full-day boot camps. The first, 1 month after the kickoff, is an introduction to the iBooks author tool. The second, at about the halfway point, is a workday with a content transformation demonstration. And the third, a month before completion, is another workday with a peer review session in the afternoon. Faculty, staff, and students can participate. Teams are the most successful. And as Ashley mentioned, we provide design guidance, training, development, project planning and management, and instructional design. That is how Book Launch operates from a project manager's point of view. Here are some of our authors offering insight into their perspective.
That was extremely helpful, being able to do this as an organized cohort, because we had people to ask questions of, we had expertise, we had access to software licensing, and having a framework in which to do that, working with the other groups, was extremely helpful.
Yes, the fact that there were groups doing very different projects in the book launch cohort was also very useful.
We originally thought we were going to be just kind of experimenting and playing this thing out, but having someone to go to was really nice.
We have 4 other publications that are right in the pipeline that are going to come out really easy because of this process. Now that we know the process, we can move forward and have a lot of really great material that's going to come out.
But seeing the broad range of things often gave us ideas. We would see what someone else was doing and say, oh, we could adapt that solution to what we were doing.
And it was really exciting for us because we already had a lab manual, but it was paper, so to see that go from like 2D to something that was super interactive and colorful and bright, and I think
one of the objectives of our course, Intro to Environmental Science, is to promote scientific literacy. During the spring semester, we accomplished this objective by having our students research a specific environmental topic of their choice and then write a short format article about that topic. We call this assignment Environmental Science Bites. Each manuscript consists of approximately 1,500 words, 4 to 6 graphs, tables, or graphics, and 10 to 20 references. The students write their manuscripts, conduct peer reviews, and revise their manuscript, and then submit their final article to the instructor for a grade. Each year, we end up with over 500 short format articles, and before participating in book launch, we did not have a way to present the final articles to our students. Since each article is relatively short and is paired with many graphics, we knew that we could create a book that was very visual, interactive, and that would lend well to the electronic format. Having an iBook where the students could read their classmates' articles and learn about other topics in environmental science, especially after the semester has ended, is a great way to encourage lifelong learning for our students. We were able to use many of the tools and widgets available with an iBooks author. For instance, we embedded videos in 2 different ways. First, as a GIF or a GIF, and also as a YouTube video. You can also insert Keynote files. Here we have a very simple Keynote of only 3 slides that the user can easily move from slide to slide using the navigational menu. Simple audio files can also be embedded, as well as Google Maps. Image galleries are used throughout the book because we found that this was a very elegant and effective way to express data over time. iBook's author also allows you to build tables and graphs directly into the book. These tools can easily expand to full screen for clearer viewing. Working with the iBook's author software was much easier than expected. Having the support of Odie and essential training from lynda.com was extremely helpful. Finding high-quality, free or low-cost images was a major challenge. We found that the images chosen by our student authors were at most times protected by copyright, low quality, or not aesthetically appealing, and so had to be replaced by figures that were appropriate for the material. Since there is currently not a large, comprehensive search engine for Creative Commons images, I spent many hours surfing the internet to find appropriate images and figures for each article. Luckily, our subject matter is science-based and at times politically charged, so I was able to use a lot of US government works that are free and in the public domain. I relied heavily on Wikipedia Commons, Flickr Commons, and government websites to find the majority of the book's figures. I learned a lot while working on this project. When working on my next iBook project, I will keep these 3 things in mind. First, there is no such thing as a small task, so do not procrastinate. For example, to simply build the glossary, a relatively small element of the ebook, took 30 to 40 hours of work. Second, it is important to maintain open communications with team members. Weekly meetings were beneficial in addressing challenges as they occurred, and receiving constant feedback on weekly progress helps shape the final appearance of the ebook. And third, address problems or questions as soon as they arise, especially copyright issues. For instance, it took 2 months to work through all copyright, purchasing, and permission steps for just 1 figure. We feel that this book will serve as an invaluable tool for our students, as many of our students have never researched a scientific topic, written a scientific paper, or developed scientific figures. Having this ebook that we developed through the book launch cohort will enhance the educational experience for our students and enable them to succeed in the classroom by making numerous level-appropriate project examples available to them. Anticipating that this ebook will allow our students to become better writers, we expect to develop more volumes in the future, either annually or biannually, in order to showcase and reward exemplary student work with publication.
Thanks so much for taking the time to learn about Book Launch at Ohio State. We hope we've sparked some questions for you and that you take away some information that will help as you encourage similar projects at your institutions for publishing digital work, to adopt open textbooks, or to encourage the publication of student work. In Denver, we're interested in hearing these ideas, and we want to take advantage of our time together to answer your questions. Here are a few to get you thinking. What do you think is the most easily replicable aspect of Book Launch? What would resonate with your faculty about Book Launch? What are concerns on your campus? And what beyond digital publishing could benefit from a cohort model? To learn more about Book Launch and to see our RFP, visit go.osu.edu/booklaunch. And to see the books we've published, visit digitalbookstore.osu.edu.